Hey guys, Steve here with another 1918 Storm in the West video. In this video we'll be looking at turn 3. Now I have one thing I must admit, and I sort of caught it at the end of turn 2. I made a comment on some previous videos. I've been playing something wrong. It slipped my mind in that if a unit uses strategic movement, it can't do any other sorts of movement. That's a restriction. And I've been doing that for both sides since, the beginning of the game, basically. And I'm in a little bit of a conundrum because I have positioned units and I've taken actions predicated on my ability to mix strategic movement with normal movement. And if I do a hard pivot back to playing correctly, the Germans are going to have a really bad time. And what I'd like to do is fix that. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to allow both sides to have the mixing of strategic movement and normal movement one more time this turn, but both sides of my brain know that this is the last turn for it, and I don't know. We'll just call it a momentous movement modifier here, and then we'll play it straight. Now, in hindsight, how that might have affected the game is that where we have had these big openings on the map from turn 1, even the Allies would not have been able to very swiftly put units into new places, and so the Germans might have been able to get even further than they did because of that, or at least be a few hexes further up. But because the Allies were able to rail into Soissons and move forward, or rail to Bellehoon and move forward, the Germans might be a little further back than they might otherwise normally have been. So because I did this with both sides, maybe it's a wash, and again, both sides will benefit from me cheating this turn, but starting on turn 4, we will have it set up that the game will be played accurately. And some of this is because I'm going to close this gap here, but I had made all my decisions in the previous turns thinking I would be able to do that anyway, and so I didn't do certain things, and I don't want to go back in time and try to fix all of that. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. So we'll cheat for this turn, and I apologize to folks watching and are thinking, oh, I can do this normally. Nope, I've been cheating inadvertently. I'm going to cheat intentionally this turn, and then we'll play properly. So things could be very, very different in your game if you're looking to play this. I'll also say, I am realizing that 100% for sure I've made a tremendous mistake as the Germans in my initial setup. I do not need all these guys down here set up this way. I could be affording to even set them up like that, where there's 2 or more hexes in between the units because of the Zocs, and these units should have been up north or more focused in my offensive area, so that I could be taking more hits and still progressing forward. That will probably have a very disastrous effect over the long haul this campaign. I could conceivably try to move those units, but now it's almost just too late, and I don't have enough rail, strategic movement capacity to move a lot of those guys. So I don't know. As a learning game, for sure, that's a big mistake I made, is that setup. Not knowing what's a good setup, I mean, I guess that's just sort of the reality of the situation here. Had I known better, or I guess on my second play of this game someday, whether that's on camera or not, I know better than to set up the way that I set up here. So if you're watching this video series and you're interested in playing 1918, 1919 Storm in the West, keep in mind you can probably get away with having units set up like this on your front line and move these excess units to wherever you're going to focus, whether that's going to be against Verdun or the area that I noted before, and I'm moving stuff around too much, or up here. I mean, I should have stacked up more. And because the Germans set up after the Allies, I mean, you sort of pick where you're going to go, and then you're going to get that advantage of hitting them. And I've squandered that advantage. So I think, as it relates to our strategic situation here, it really is now going to be fighting tooth and nail for the Germans to get their additional morale points to stay in the game by turn 9, and then hope for the best. But we're going to get right into the game. We're going to roll dice for weather, and it is dry, so it is a dry turn for turn 3. The German units are all in supply at the moment, and then we're going to do replacements. So the Germans this turn are going to get 2 more replacement points. So they go from 5 to 7, and now they need to replenish stuff. So what are we going to do? I think we're going to replenish, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oof, that's rough. And then we'll do 7. We'll spend ourselves out, I guess, and put a unit in St. Quentin. And that's pretty rough. All things considered, that is pretty rough. Then for our strategic movement, well, I guess technically this unit wouldn't have come on the board. He'd be off map. We'll have these guys all do railing, so put these 3 guys here, and then we'll put, let's see, this guy in Lille. There we go. Strategic movement done with 4 units. Then the regular movement phase, which is going to be very fast. We're going to have these guys go, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or we got 1, 2, 3, 4. On this final guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that will be good there. I can't remember if this guy's in Balhoun or not. See, stuff's starting to get shifted around a little bit. But we'll have this guy go 1, 2, 3, 4, and take Balhoun, which does give us. It's a little dangerous what I've done there, but I think that will have to do. Do I want to do that? Well, yeah, I think we've got to try. So German morale goes up, Allied morale goes down by 1 for taking Balhoun, and then we probably do want to move our artillery up 1. Let me make sure that's a legal move. Yeah, I think we're okay there. Okay, so now we're going to go to the initial Central Power combat phase. So we're moving really fast, and I'm moving this fast because I don't think there's no real other choice. I kind of have to try to do this way. Let's see, do we attack? Let's see, it would be 16, be 4 to 1, and he would have no bonus. We'd have a +1, sure. So 4 to 1, 4, 2 and 2. So he's reduced and has to retreat. We'll have this guy lost. And then, well, I've got to take a point here, and this guy can advance there. So we did that attack, not the best, but I've got to try to do something. Let's see, we've got it's 11, 17 to 11, that's not very good. 10, 25. Yeah, we'll do an attack up here. So we'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see where I'm looking. We'll support an attack up here, so it'll be 25 to 4. 25 to 4. It's quite a lot. Oh my gosh. 6 to 1. This is gonna be super bloody, but we get a +2. There's a 5, which is he's eliminated, and we take 2 step losses. Man, that sucks. That didn't go as well as I wanted it to. That was a poor attack, honestly. I'm not sure even if that was worth the trouble. Yeah, that was kind of a bad move, honestly. Dang. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Alright, any other combats? Well, I don't think I want to do that now. Infiltration movement next. So do that. Infiltration movement. Do that. Could do that. Could do that. Do that. Okay, so I've moved around a little bit, and then with our next combat, we're going to try over here. So, 12, 17 to 5, so 3 to 1 with a +1. 3 to 1 with a +1. Ugh, I got a 2, so 1, they can retreat, and we got to take 3 step losses. So 1, 2, 3. We can advance after combat, which we will do that. So we're kind of pushing out through here. We're threatening Amiens, but it's a nebulous situation. And then up here, we have the potential for sort of breaking open something over here to have happen, though it's going to be real nasty, I think, any way we cut it. So we would have 12, 17 to 4, that's 4 to 1 odds with a +1. That's worth a shot. And I rolled a 1, so it's 2. Alright, so he can retreat, and we take 3 step losses. 1, 2, and 3, I guess. So that's not good. That's not really getting to where we want to be. I'm not going to advance after combat. The only other attack I could do is here, where we would have 14, 29 to 5. 29 to 5. We use air here. 29 to 5. 5 to 1. We don't quite have enough combat factors. Allied trench would be -2, and then the marsh makes it -3. But +1 from the AGB is to be -2. That's not great, honestly. 5 to 1 -2. I think we need to press, though. Yeah, okay, that sucks. Take a step loss and retreat. We take 4 step losses. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can advance after combat. And maybe we do. No, we don't want to advance after combat because we're going to lose control of Ypres if we do that. Yeah, that. I think this war is going to go very poorly for the Germans. I mean, we're just even trying to make advances like this. I mean, we're just getting chewed up like crazy. Terminal supply phase, we're okay. Dang, man, what a rough situation. And that's it for the German turn. So what did we do? Well, we're pressing, but it's like what are we actually pressing on? I mean, we're almost in a situation where we can encircle those guys or something, but I just don't see where we can make it happen. I guess we can roll for Big Bertha, and we don't destroy anything of significance in Paris. So now we're going to go over to the Allied turn. Allied supply phase. I think everybody's in good shape for supply. Replacement schedule. So the British are going to get 4 replacement points. So they go up to 5. The French get 1, so they go up to 6. The U.S. gets none. We get some reinforcements in the form of 2 more American divisions. And so those will at least be 2 of our Allied strategic moves, and then we need to decide what we're going to do for healing up units. So the British can spend 1, 2, 3 on map replacements. They're down to 2, and then they can spend 2 to get a corps back, which will be coming in to, we'll say, Dunkirk. The French, well, the Italians can't get replacements, but the French can spend 2 getting those guys up to full, and then they can rebuild their tank for 1, and then they'll spend 2 more to get infantry and their tanks back. The Belgians still have 2, but they don't have any really to spend. So if we do strategic movement, we're going to put 2 American divisions in Hasbrook, because we're going to create the Australian-American Corps shortly. And then the French are going to get infantry and their tanks into Compiègne, and they're going to try to cut off the Germans there, maybe, is what they'll try to do. Okay, replacement and reinforcement, strategic movement done. Now we have regular movement, so indeed we will try to move up like this. I think we'll have these Americans move up like that. And these Americans move up like that. And then I think everybody else is okay down south. I'm sorry, you can't even see that. I apologize. We just moved the Americans up a little bit and the French that we placed in Compiègne up. Oh, yes, and I'm still cheating, by the way. So that's why we're able to do that. We're cheating. This is the last time we're cheating. This is it. Last time we cheat. And then up north, I mean, we can kind of move up and block the Germans there and look for an attack. We could move like, well, we can move like that. Oops. And eventually cause supply problems. Yeah, that's going to cause a lot of supply problems, actually. So we'll move these guys like so. These guys like so. And yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where we want to end up. Yeah, this is going to be bad for the Germans. I'm already looking at this whole situation, and I'm like, the Germans are going to lose this war. Bad. Okay, so we're going to have first combat phase. What are some obvious areas to try? Well, we're actually not as strong in a lot of places as you might think, even down here. But we could try, let's see, 4, 6, 7, no, that wouldn't, well, 7, 10, 2 to 1. Germans are out of reinforcements. I think that's worth it. So 2 to 1. Is this guy in a German? Yeah, he is. Never mind. I don't know if it's worth attacking there. 2 to 1 minus 1. Or 2 to 1 minus 2. That's not great. But the French still have plenty of things they could use for reinforcements. So maybe we do it. I mean, 2 to 1 minus 2. Sure. Yeah, okay, so that was bad. Take 3 step losses. 1, 2, 3. No worse for wear. The French lose the cavalry. That's not so bad. And the Germans lose nothing. So that sucked. We have an attack here we could do. So, let's see. We've got 10, 13 against 5. So that's 2 to 1 odds. +1 for tanks, -1 due to devastated. So yeah, 2 to 1 odds. Oh my god, I rolled a 1. Wow. Alright. That's not good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That could be worse, but what a waste of a French tank. My god. Alright. What else now? What else can we do? Oh, I screwed up as the Germans really bad. Really bad. This guy was not, well, okay, so I guess I missed it because I already rolled combats. I should have seen this earlier and moved that unit into Cambrai, but I missed it. So I guess we'll continue on. But we would have been able to take that town, and the Germans would be in deep trouble. But I missed it. So, okay, what else is going on? Well, we do have what will be a pretty major attack here on Belhune again. So we're, let's see, do these guys get... Let's see. Okay, we can't create the Australian-American Corps yet, even though we're set up to do it up here in the north. But We're gonna attack, I think here, for sure, because we're gonna be able to put this guy out of supply, I think. So this would be 8, 10, 18, 21 to 5. That's 4 to 1 odds. +1 for the tank. Yeah, 4 to 1 odds +1. This is pretty good. I roll a 1. +1 is 2. So we eliminate the unit. The allies use 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. We'll just lose an American. We're gonna get more, right? And we take the hex, so we'll advance after combat, taking Belhune. The German morale goes down to 17. Allied morale goes up to 13. And this guy is in trouble because he is going to be out of supply when the Germans check supply next. Any other combats that make sense to try? Well, we could always try up here with the Belgians and do 16 to 6. No, that's not very good. 2 to 1 minus a whole lot. I don't think that's worth it up there. Okay, so that's it for Allied first combat. They can't do infiltration movement, so what about second combat? Well, second combat. Well, the only place I think it really even makes sense to is to try to knock this guy out. And they could try it. They'd have 9, 15, 3 to 1 odds. 3 to 1 odds, but no bonuses. I think it's worth it. 3 to 1 odds. I rolled a 4. So 2, he's eliminated for sure. I take 3, so we do 1, 2, 3, and advance after combat. And the Germans are falling apart here. I mean, I just don't like, and they're out of gas. Like, this is going to be game over. Holy crap! I really screwed up the game. I think I've played very poorly as the Germans. We're getting nowhere, and it's. I mean, the German front's collapsing, and it's only, you know, whatever turn it even is now. Yeesh, I don't even know what to say. Terminal supply phase, everybody is in supply for the Allies, and that's the end of turn 3. I am almost thinking about restarting or something, because I have played very poorly. I've bitten off way more than I can chew, and I've not... What can the Germans do to salvage the situation? Next turn, they're going to get 3 replenishment points. They'll go up to 4. They can replenish a few units on the board, and they can maybe get some units railed into Lille and Lens and Cambrai. But they're now below their requirement, but they can still be doing movement in such a way that they could potentially keep going, I guess. They could pick somewhere and keep going, but they're going to have to hunker down somewhere. The attack on the north is just not working. We're not getting where we need to be. I could try to rail some of these other strength units over now, especially because we don't even have the replenishment points to put new units on the board. We're just effed. Is what it feels like as the Germans. I've royally screwed up the game. I will look back at my setup as one reason. The other is just figuring out, where and how to make progress as the Germans. And man, this is tough. This is a tough game, I think. Just figuring out, what's a good move. when you're on the offensive, and make sure you do set up correctly. I mean, just it's tough. So yeah, we'll call this video here end of turn 3. We'll go into turn 4. We will play out turn 4, but if things don't pick up for the for the Germans, I may have to call it early, and maybe we re-rack the game and we set it up again. We start over. I think we may need to do that, but we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I'm interested to see how this shifts. The only thing I guess the Germans have going for them is that the British are just as worn out as they are. I mean, the British are going to get a bunch more reinforcements. The French are going to get some replenishments and stuff, but I don't know. This is a really tough situation, and that's a good thing, I guess, right? The game should be tight and should be stressful and tenuous, right? But I do think that the Germans have they've blown their opportunities here. They just didn't get where they needed to go, in large part because the offensive drive was under strength. I had too many units down here doing absolutely nothing of value. That my assessment is that. So it might be a simple thing to simply start over. So I'll be thinking on that. You guys let me know what you think. We'll play it out a few more turns. It could be we play out a few more turns and we find that it is impossible for the Germans to get to their 18 morale that they need, in which case, well, the game's over anyway, and we just, maybe we start over from that point and try to do better. Learning game, guys. This is what we run into, but I'm having fun. I'm just figuring out all the challenges here, which there certainly are some to figure out all the right moves. I mean, this is a game that's been around for decades, but I've not played it until now, so forgive me, I am a noob at this particular one. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Hit like if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more on this epic journey through 1918, 1919 Storm in the West. Until next time, guys, take care. Keep on gaming.